So in 2016, this guy had one property to his name. And he now has, in 2021, so we're talking about 4 years and 1 month later, he has nine units, 7 properties, 9 units, and a 10th under contract. He has a podcast that last month had how many downloads?
22,000.
22,000. He has a Facebook group with how many people in it?
2,500.
And he has a mastermind community that has how many people in it?
20.
And how many streams of income do you have today?
Put me on the spot. I have no idea. I haven't thought about it. I guess like 5.
5. I just want to go over so 10 properties, 10 units, 7 properties, 10 units, almost 8 properties, 10 units. A podcast that's is going to do break 6 figures in downloads this year in 2021, has a group with over 1,000 people in it following his every word. He has 5 streams of income. He has a mastermind community where he's had over 20 something people go through it. When I sat down and we started talking in 2016, this motherfucker had 1 building. I had 1 job. But the commonality between us is small action, consistent, long term. 5 freaking streams of income in 2021.
Dude, when I was 21, my only goal was to be financially free by 30. And this year I hit it at 27.
Oh!
And it just the only thing I'd say about it is it's not about me being smart. It's not about me having any natural connections. I guess I always bounce around what is the key concept or point that I attribute any success to, but I really think it's I'm torn between it's the people you surround yourself with. Obviously, we're talking about that, but also just progress over perfection. We all get into it overanalyzing or thinking, is this deal going to work? Am I going to fail at this? Is someone going to laugh at me? And those are the worst things to think about that I had to get over. And as we kind of worked through this weekend, had to and still have some version of it, but constant just pushing of what's a little baby step I could take that's towards my bigger goal. And if I need help thinking through the goal, if I need help thinking through the tactic or strategy, what's that going to be? And it all started with just one little thing. The podcast started 1 year ago, and my goal was 1 podcast episode a week. I'd never done before, and it was just a matter of starting and doing it. And then after that, we added 2 more, so it was 3 a week. Then it went to a daily podcast. And now it just runs where I just record the episodes, and we've built a system and a process. And it's just a matter of adding things in progression, getting them good, and then moving on to the next. And then it becomes a habit that just runs without you. So I think about it the first deal I ever did, I didn't know what I was doing, and it felt impossible. And the last deal I closed on, and I'm not saying this in any way other than just you get the feeling of playing at varsity speed and then going back down to JV feels like it's slow motion. This last property I closed on, I didn't ever see it. I didn't go to the closing, and I virtually even forgot it was closing that day. Now, not to say it's easy, but the more you do, the better you get. And at the beginning, it's not about hitting home runs, it's about base hits and track record. And now when I think about it, I think about my brother, for example. He's doing his first deal, and I tell him this deal isn't going to make you rich, but it's going to be your stepping stone that when you're on your 20th deal, you couldn't have gotten there without doing your first. And I think about that with the podcast also. If you don't do the first 20 bad episodes, how are you ever going to have that breakthrough 21st episode that gets 5,000 downloads? Or you get the guest that you've always wanted because they need to know you have 20 or 30 episodes recorded. So a saying that I talk about a lot is you can't improve a process that doesn't exist. So if you take no action, there's nothing to improve. And I'll just end with this. My favorite quote currently is you cannot build a reputation on what you say you're going to do. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is taking action consistently forward. If you do that, you will look back at where you are 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago, and laugh at the problems you were struggling with then, because today they're 20 times bigger and you're in a totally different place in life than you ever thought you would be. So if I could just bring it back to having goals and then taking consistent action and getting around the right people towards those goals, it's amazing what happens. And if I can do it, literally anyone can do it. I was a bad student. I just partied my whole way through high school and college. I had no interest in real estate or business. I was totally lost. And one day it was just a light bulb moment for me that I figured I needed to get it together. And I couldn't do this for my family. I couldn't let my family down. And I saw that it wasn't about being smart. It wasn't about being born with connections. It was about having a goal and taking action toward it, and then just getting educated. So anyone could do it. That's all I'm going to say. It's about consistent action. So you're another perfect example of that. But man, it's just fun to watch, and other people too.